Respected dignitaries, guest of honors, special guests, awardees, friends, family, and our dear audience. On this beautiful note of Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, I welcome you all to begin the celebrations on the session 2 for the 75th birth anniversary of R.S. Gadgil, the revolutionary healthcare legend. On this auspicious occasion of 75th birth anniversary of my father, and coincidentally also Father's Day, let me take the opportunity and pride in introducing you to the legend of R.S. Gadgil. His magnanimity and live life king size is very well known. Brilliance, excellence, wisdom were words he exemplified. With deep thirst for knowledge of medicine and love for education, he pioneered continuing medical education in the country and empowered various associations like API, IMA, MAP, ICC, CSI, RSSTI, ASI, IOA, TraumaCon, VIROC, and doctors as well. Fostering relationships with love and care, he earned the most precious wealth of friends, colleagues, and extended family, like you all from all over the world. He always had a special place in his heart for the medical fraternity, the medical practitioners, who showered him with the immense love and respect, and he was held in high esteem amongst three generations of doctors. His 4 decades of long journey in healthcare started right from penicillin with towering success at companies like US Vitamins, Alchem, and Aristo, he became the revolutionary marketing guru of the Indian pharmaceutical industry. What the leader he was, he mentored, trained, taught many, and nurtured his teams by training, teaching science and MBA students for years. He wanted his students, his followers, to develop themselves, rise, and succeed. Having enormous passion for branding and profound knowledge of science and marketing, he created several top brands like Monosef, Flexon, Glycomet, EcoSprint, Gemcal, Nicocin, Ondem, Doxy1. The list is really endless. 20th and 21st June, we are celebrating his 75th birth anniversary, and he continues to be our guiding star even after more than 7 years of his loss. The deep pain of his loss, yet memories full of happiness, drive us every moment towards his deep purpose of reducing disease burden and achieving the health and happiness. RS Gadgil's strong purpose of developing effective therapies to reduce disease burden uh, and profound vision of true nutrition to true wellness to generations to come is being taken forward by me, his daughter Rajashri Gadgil, CEO and founder of TruWealth Integrative Healthcare and RSG Nutrition Private Limited, with 20 plus years of global experience in nutrition and continuing medical education in several therapy areas like arthritis, digestive diseases, diabetes, and more. Having worked in New York and also in India, um, with most respected CME companies across, TruWealth Integrative Health TV is my initiative to spread authentic knowledge, expertise, and experience of healthcare stalwarts all around the globe, and especially in India. TruWealth Integrative Health TV has done more than 250 plus patient education programs in CME with more than 1,000 plus healthcare stalwarts in this pandemic year. Share a few couple of slides so that I can keep this short. TrueWealth actually provides integrated health and personalized nutrition advice to control, prevent, and reverse lifestyle autoimmune diseases as well as infectious diseases to help reach the ultimate goal of holistic health and happiness. With, of course, our integrative health and nutrition clinics in several therapy areas with our internationally trained and experienced healthcare experts and our integrated website, which helps us with online consult and spreading education and awareness as well. With that, of course, last but not the least, ENERGYA, a division of RSG Nutrition and Healthcare, is developing responsible evidence-based nutrition formulations. Only is what I would say, targeting specific indications. That's what we have been doing, taking his vision forward. Allow me to share this short video on R.S. Gadgil and his life. I'm sure some of you relived the memories with him with this small movie, and of course, some of them who audience who don't know him get to learn a little bit about this legend. On that note, I would want to just share a couple of more slides, and we can actually start with our award ceremony. RS Gadgil always wanted to start the RSG Wisdom Forum. Humility, integrity, stewardship, discipline, courage, passion, perseverance, lot, of course, as the pillars. But the aim was to collect, decipher, and propagate the wisdom and excellence of legendary medical practitioners, leaders, and teachers from around the globe. He did that when he was living. He did that. He did great academic conferences and programs, and the idea was to enable the forthcoming generations to gain the in-depth expertise and experience to further excel and provide exclusive service to mankind in reducing disease burden and taking the wisdom and excellence legacy forward. I'm sure all the panelists present here truly believe in this and are doing that in their great way, and which is what we are trying to capture through this awards program today. A small clip of the earlier videos that earlier awards that were given. On that note, uh, I welcome you all to, of course, the program, and would like to take the privilege of introducing the guest of honor today, that is Dr. S.K. Mathur. We have extremely high regards, respect, and of course, the fraternity has for him. He is epitome of compassion, conviction, commitment towards his patients. His surgical skills are extraordinary, and his diagnostic diagnosis is matchless. Currently practicing at the Zen Hospital, he is very respected for his work at the Bombay Hospital and many others like Fortis Global Hospital. Formerly, he was professor of general surgery and GI surgery, the State GS Medical College and KM Hospital. He was professor and HOD, general and GI surgery, TN Medical College and BYL Nair Hospital, Mumbai. He has been the vice president and general secretary of the ZTCC Mumbai. He is the recipient of the French government postdoc fellowship. He's member of advisory board, Government of Maharashtra for TOTA 2018. He's chairman of the committee for drawing guidelines for distribution of liver and other abdominal organs, Roto Soto, Mumbai. Founder member of MCFOT and ZTCC Mumbai, member advisory group for implementing HOTS since 1995, 135 plus publications, chapters, and books on portal hypertension and liver transplantation, delivered 15 orations, delivered so many guest lectures at world congresses, and especially at the World Congress of IHPBA and IASGO. So this is just a brief introduction of him, really. And Dr. Mathur, it's such a pleasure to have you with us as the guest of the honor. And we request you to be with us to uh, present the awards to all the dignitaries and the awardees today.
Thank you, Rashid, for kind introduction and giving this honor to be here, to be amongst the excellent people.
Sure, sir.
Thank you.
Uh, well, then it's the special guest of today, Dr. Ram Prabhu. We sometimes joke and say that his name has his name and surname both as gods. So God really for a lot of his students and God to a lot of us, almost like a father to us. Dr. Ram Prabhu is with us, an acclaimed name, of course, in orthopedics in India and abroad. He's MBBS and MS Ortho from KM, FRCS UK, FICS, FARSI fellowships in Germany, France, Hong Kong, USA in trauma, spine, and arthroscopy and joints. Here he has held more than 200 workshops and taught more than 5,000 orthosurgeons all over the country and abroad. He's been organizing chairman of the Golden Jubilee Asia Pacific Orthopedic Association Conference in 2012, organizing president of APOA 2015, organizing chairman of International Rural Surgeons Conference in 2012, past president of Bombay Orthopedic Society, of course, president of the Indian Orthopedic Association 2017, joint secretary of the Association of Rural Surgeons of India, co-authored 4 books. Trauma Management by Jess has been awarded author of Best Book Award in 2008 and ultrasonography of shoulder in 2012 by the Bombay Orthopedic Society. He's head of department at the VN Desai Hospital, and he's currently, of course, the medical director of Mukund Hospital, consultant Hiranandani Hospital, Powai as well. And he's past post director of MCH Seychelles. That's a brief introduction of him, apart from the magnanimous personality he is. But I would love to welcome you, sir, and we would definitely want you to share your memoirs about RSG and anything you would like to talk about the awards, and of course, give a message to the audience today. Will you unmute yourself, sir?
Thank you very much, Rajeshri, for your kind introduction. I'm really touched by this honor that you've given me today. But I would consider myself as one of the Gadgil families because I've had close relationship with your father, R.S. Gadgil, since practically 45 years, since the time he was medical representative, and I was seeing him working extremely hard and very honestly. And that's the time when he used to go make calls to different doctors in the South Bombay, and in the afternoon and otherwise, whenever he had free time, he would rest at our RMO's quarters at KM Hospital, where we used to be doing our rotational house surgeons and registrars post. And since then, we have seen this gentleman very hardworking and extremely friendly, and we realized his potential back then. He had finished his job at Hindustan Antibiotic. Probably he used to sell penicillin, and then he had joined some companies then. And then that was how he was introduced to us. And we are very fond of him. First of all, he was extremely jovial. He had a knack of making friends, and we used to enjoy the talks, the various talks that he used to have. And that's the reason why he had friends in all across different specialities, different medical, paramedical, and other businessmen also community. And he had also a knack of making friends within 5 minutes. In fact, he would talk to us and then give his anecdotes, experiences, and talks. And of course, during that time, he became so close to us that friendship remained almost till he wasn't there. In fact, I cannot still believe that he is no more with us because I remember his smile. I remember his zest for life. I remember the enjoying evenings and during the day that we we really spent together, and he really developed himself, taught us whenever he met us, whenever we met 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whenever we met during the evening sessions. He used to actually, it was a lesson that we used to learn all the time. And I remember it was not only orthopedics, but he had friends in all the subspecialties. I'm really happy that I was quite close to him. And in fact, he was so generous. And in fact, whenever we used to have any conferences, we had difficulties, and we would approach him. Of course, all these conferences and CMEs, etc., workshops, we required the money power. And for that money, his blank checks used to be with us practically. And those blank checks, I can tell Dr. Mathur or Dr. Bhatkande and others who are there now, that was so helpful. And that was, besides that, in fact, we always depended on him, and we knew that there was somebody in case of there is dire emergency, or if there are problems, we would always approach RS, and he would do the needful. And from that, in fact, we have taken some responsibilities of conferences, CMEs, workshop, only on the basis of knowing Gadgil. And that was the man. And he never, ever disappointed us. That is, besides that, he was a visionary, he was an extremely wise person, and he knew the pulse of the doctors, the patients, the industry, healthcare industry overall. And he knew what was important. And he also saw that was almost, he was thinking 20 years ahead of his time. And he could envisage what were the steps which needed to take in case if you wanted to make some company very famous, or at the same time their business sense, during the business, how to improve the business, at the same time be helpful. And he knew that the CMEs were the ones to take the doctors forward, and that is how he can get the doctors together. And you have seen these video clips, in that you've seen across all the specialities, he was there. In fact, his presence was there everywhere. And that presence was extremely important. That really livened the whole shows, the conferences also. And you have seen them with so many dignitaries, so many doctors, so many Padma Shris, Padma Bhushans, etc. So he had friends across politics, across the subspecialties, across doctors, across engineers, what have you, lawyers. So that was his forte. And I think somebody who meets him once or met him once could never ever leave his friendship. And that was the man. And I'm glad that his daughter Rajeshri has taken the same baton forwards, and she has the similar kind of vision. And I'm sure, with her leadership, she's going to take this true wealth, and at the same time, um, the whole mission that he had undertaken, Mr. Gadgil, she will take it forward. And I'm sure all the doctors who are here today, and all the doctors who are there in all the subspecialties who have been helped by her father, are going to be helpful to her now and in future too. She is also extremely hardworking, and she has also done a lot. I've attended, I have also been a part of lots of seminars with her, webinars with her. And I'm glad that every year I have been a part of all the celebrations that she did in honor of Mr. Gadgil. And at the same time, whatever the guest of honors, the chief guests that they were there, she has never forgotten calling us, and we were very happy. And I have been singularly lucky that I have been attending all that and I was present. As you know, this ENERGYA healthcare is an integrated health, not only allopathy, but there are other products which are extremely useful, not only nutrition wise, diet wise, but at the same time to overall lifetime or life scale medicines that she provides. They are very economical, and at the same time, true to her words, she makes them extremely ethical and very good products which are going to be helpful. And that's the reason why so many doctors flock to her and so many products are being done. And she has done enormously well in absence of her father also. And as you saw, she is very, very passionate about the health, the CMEs, the webinars, whatever she is doing. And across the medical field and the healthcare field, she has got phenomenal friends, and that are going to help her in future. Today with us we have uh, Dr. Mathur, who's been very well known, Dr. Sanjay Desai, who's the chief guest or the guest of honor today, Dr. Rekha Badkande, and quite a few others who have come just for the love of Rajeshri and Mr. Gadgil. And I can never forget Dr. Gadgil in my life, Mr. Gadgil in my life, and at the same time, I will always owe him the happiness that we shared together, and also uh, the great wisdom and the work that he has put into this. This will bear fruit now and in future also. And with this small introduction, with this small talk about Mr. Gadgil, who was very, very close to my heart, and to all the best to Rajeshri, and I will take this program further. Thank you very much.
Well, the program was supposed to be excellence and wisdom, but it's already become emotion. Uh, I'm always worried about that. That the emotions will overpower the wisdom and excellence, and you managed to do that, sir. And I would say that you are a spine support for so many surgeons and students out there, and me equally. You've encouraged me to actually take whatever I do to the best. And you also scolded me when I have done any mistakes, so that I always stay on the right path, and I'm indebted for it. So, and I will continue to take his legacy forward and your wisdom and excellence forward. That's a promise. And on that note, of course, I would want to start the award ceremony with our first awardee. And let me share the screen. It's, of course, I have heard this from a lot of orthopedic doctors that you should not just call him Dr. Sanjay Desai. It is the Sanjay Desai, is what I've heard from a lot of his students and lot of orthopedic surgeons who are learning from him continuously. And to introduce him, I think I'm too small to do that, but in few words, he's a pioneer, a super specialist. He's trusted by the celebrities, and he's revolutionized the shoulder surgery in the subcontinent. So he's, of course, very well known for it. And that is the reason why we have Dr. Acharya here, Dr. Pradeep Acharya, who's fully renowned anesthesiologist with a vast experience of 25 plus years. And he is here with us today to introduce Dr. Sanjay Desai, sir. Dr. Acharya, welcome. Please do the honors.
Hi there. I'm going to introduce my friend, Dr. Sanjay Desai. He's a consultant orthopedic surgeon specializing in knee and shoulders. He did his MBBS, D-Orth, MS in orthopedic from Tupiwala National Medical College and Nair Hospital, and was the gold medalist in D-Orth exams and stood second in the MS orthopedic exams. He did his MCH from Liverpool, where he got the Kenemphar medal for clinical examination. He has multiple presentations in both international and national journals. He has been invited to conduct live workshops and demonstration surgeries in Barcelona, China, Manchester, Japan, South Korea, and Poland. He is a pioneer super specialist who has revolutionized shoulder surgery in the subcontinent. He was the founder member and the past president of the Shoulder Society of India, the immediate past president of Arthroscopic Society, and the current president of the Asian Shoulder Association. He received the Young Achievers Award in 2002, conferred by the Indo-American Society, received the Giant International Award 2016 for his contribution in the field of medicine, the recipient of the Most Inspiring Doctors Award by Economic Times in 2018, recipient of the prestigious B.C. Roy Award 2018, which is considered the highest award in medical sciences given by the President of India. He conducts a shoulder fellowship, which is a 6-month training program launched with the hope of training young orthopedic surgeons from different parts of the country. And he is actually now in a process of writing a book, Romancing the Shoulder, which will be of great help to postgraduate students and consultants interested in problems affecting the shoulder. He is attached to the Beach Candy Hospital, Just Lock Hospital and Research Center, Sir Reliance HN Reliance Hospital, Nanavati Hospital, Leelavati Hospital, and Bhatia Hospital. Well, being his anesthetist for the past 25 years, I have known him and I've been working with him, and it has been a great pleasure working together. Efficiency is doing the right things, and we learned this during our postgraduate training program. But to be effective, one has to do things right. And for this, one has to have a Sanjay Desai personality, and I'll tell you why. Firstly, he's satisfied with nothing less than the best for his patients. Remember, high achievement always takes place in a framework of high expectation. He himself is a perfectionist, and it is this perfectionist attitude that runs on to the other team members, may it be his assistants, his scrub nurse, or even the anesthetist like me. Secondly, he's an anesthetist-friendly surgeon. He always starts in time, finishes in time, and never complains about the bleeding or even the relaxation. During this surgery, his focus is 100% on the patient. There is no family talk, there is no casual talk, and there's definitely no mobile talk. Thirdly, he makes a very good captain of the ship because he's got a sixth sense that can identify a problem before it becomes an emergency. And fourthly, in every surgery, he studies the case thoroughly, goes into the depth of it, and subsequently he keeps a plan B along with plan A. So in case plan A fails, he always can fall back upon plan B. And with this attitude, we have been able to conduct even the most difficult of surgeries successfully over the period of 25 years. And finally, summarizing his personality in one sentence, in a matter of style, he swims with the current, but in a matter of principle, he will stand like a rock. Thank you, Rajeshri, for giving me this opportunity to talking about my friend. And I would like to hand it over to you so you can carry the program forward.
Well, it's absolutely a pleasure, and thank you for doing this. And I would like to thank Neeti Desai Madam for actually helping us get you to do the honors instead of we actually introducing him. But just bear with me and give me the opportunity to share a few pictures so that the audience can actually know more about him. Shah Rukh Khan says that my dog Sanjay Desai is the coolest. Just feel like saying the responsibilities on my shoulder feel light because he's making it so strong. All these great personalities, and you know now why he's the Sanjay Desai from Dr. Acharya, and how a perfectionist he is in his surgeries. And these are the people. That's why they say you are in good hands. And of course, he has received so many awards that are commendable. With that, sir, the floor is open to you. We invite you on the virtual stage to share your journey and whatever you would like the audience to know to get inspired.
Respected Dr. S.K. Mathur, special guest, my good friend and senior colleague, Dr. Ram Prabhu, Dr. Rekha Batkande, and real special thanks to my dear friend and anesthetist of many years, without whom I couldn't perform as well, Dr. Pradeep Acharya. And I, of course, cannot thank enough Rajashri for giving me this opportunity. And she used the best possible way of convincing me to participate in this by contacting Neeti, my wife. And as you all know, I'm only a slave of my wife. So thank you once again. Though I did not have that much of an opportunity to interact with late Shri R.S. Gadgil, but I do know that he had a very special relationship, particularly with orthopedic surgeons. And we have had a sense of Mr. Gadgil through VIROC, TraumaCon. And honestly speaking, this slide won't be enough to fill up all his achievements and his vision. And it is such a pleasure to see Rajashri following her father's footsteps. Not only following his footsteps, but taking it beyond. And it's truly an honor to be part of this event. And thank you very much, Rajashri, for considering me for this award. Now, these are some of the hospitals that I work in. And I stay not too far from the place where I work. So it's a short distance between my residence and the place I work. But honestly speaking, it's been a very, very long journey. So in my talk, I'm going to briefly express or share with you how it all started, what was really the driving force, what made me pick up a subspecialty like shoulder or knee. As far as India is concerned, where are we now and what does the future hold for us? So as it was mentioned, I finished my training from an excellent orthopedic unit in Nair Hospital, which is well known across the country, with stalwarts like Dr. K.V. Chobal, Dr. D.D. Tanna, and Dr. C.A. Talwalkar and Dr. Lahiri. That was my foundation. And I finished my training somewhere in 1990. And then there was this burning itch, as all of us have. It was not just me, to learn something new, something different, and then bring it back, if possible, to my country. So everybody said that you have to go to England. That was easy to go. Language was not a barrier. So I made my way, as did everybody else, into England. And within 6 months, I identified one place where I thought, because I went on visiting while I was working in Kent, I went to visit a few center of excellence, and I went to this place which is adjacent to Cambridge and part of the peripheral hospital of Addenbrooke's at Cambridge, and it was called the Newmarket General Hospital. And there I ended up working with two stalwarts. One, Mr. David Dandy, who was a very, very well-known father of knee arthroscopy of United Kingdom. But to be honest with you, the real bonus, the real surprise was Christopher Constant. He is world famous shoulder surgeon, and the Constant score of assessing the shoulder function is a norm today all over the world, wherever you publish or present. And I was really amazed that after having passed from one of the leading institutes in Mumbai, being a lecturer at KEM Hospital, and when I ended up with this unit in Newmarket, my ego was crushed. I was a medalist from Bombay. Why was my ego crushed? Because forget assisting. I had not even seen the surgeries that Mr. Constant was doing at that time in 1991-92. They were open shoulder surgeries, but had never seen them in spite of being from Mumbai. And that really shook me. And I realized that perhaps this is what I should learn, master, and then take it back home. And that was the beginning of the journey of shoulder surgery. And once I got the basics with Christopher Constant and the top other two leading shoulder surgeons across the United Kingdom in the form of Stephen Copeland from Reading and Professor Angus Wallace from Nottingham. And I made a good relationship with them. I went and visited them while I was working with Constant. I published, I presented. This is our paper in the international meeting in Paris. You can see that in 1992. And believe you me that every single journal at Cambridge Library on the upper left-hand side corner would have a tick mark made by me that I've gone through all the shoulder articles ever published in that 1.5 years. Finally, I went to the Mecca of joint replacement surgery, which is Chanley Center, and I learned replacement surgery over there. And you will be also surprised that until 1993-94, while I was in England, nowhere was shoulder arthroscopy being done, operative shoulder arthroscopy. Even my boss, Christopher Constant, did only diagnostic shoulder arthroscopy. So the hunger, the desire to learn even more took me to Germany. My arthroscopy guru is Professor Peter Habermeyer. He has been the president of the European and the German Shoulder Society. He is truly a crowned king in arthroscopic shoulder surgery. And I spent a long time with him training in operative arthroscopic shoulder surgery. 1994, I returned to Mumbai with this passion of establishing shoulder surgery. And I put up this board. It exists even today outside my clinic. And you won't believe, some well-wishers of mine, as soon as I put up this board, came and met me. Sanjay, are you mad? That means if you have a patient who has a wrist fracture, should not come to you. Do you realize you will starve of hunger if you do only shoulder and knee? I said, no, this is what I am trained. This is what I like doing. And this is what I shall do no matter what. And the rest is history. So the first thing I realized is there was no shoulder surgery existing in India. All was just frozen shoulder, exercises, painkillers. That's it. Nothing more than that. And perhaps my colleague, senior colleague Ram Prabhu will endorse that. So I thought it's a long uphill task. My first job is to educate the country that so many things in shoulder can be diagnosed accurately and can be treated successfully. So we formed the Shoulder Society of India with some like-minded people. Dr. David Rajan from Coimbatore and Professor Devados, who was the past president of Indian Orthopedic Association, who was from Madurai. We got together way back in 1996, 25 years ago, and formed the Shoulder Society of India. And from then on, we conducted hundreds of workshops, live demonstration surgeries, CMEs, of course, with the help of visionaries like Gadgil. And it continued. This was my lifeline, these two bags. They are special bags. I used to carry my shoulder equipment and operate in 8 different states of the country. I was out either lecturing, doing live demonstration surgeries to train others, to educate others, to expose others to shoulder surgery, or just going and treating patients of friends who are having hospitals in various parts of the country. And effectively, I was traveling 26 out of 52 weekends. And there is this joke, if you see these bags look special, they are vacuum bags, which means if I'm flying and the plane crashes, I may or may not survive, but the bags and the equipment will survive. And my wife, Neeti, always used to tease, what are you going to do with these bags if you are not there? But I said, they are very dear to me. No matter what happens to me, that equipment has to survive. This operating in different states was a very successful business module. And I'm sure Shri R.S. Gadgil would also endorse that. Because the colleague orthopedic surgeon in a town, in a tier 2 city in India would gather 8-10 cases. He is happy because I'm going down from Mumbai and doing 10 cases in his hospital. The patient is happy because he feels he doesn't have to travel to Bombay and incur the expenses and the trouble of traveling with family members. And I'm happy because I get to do so many cases at a time. So it was a very successful win-win situation. It worked. And I did it for many, many years, almost 20 years. And this is where we are now. Shoulder Society of India is a very robust, very active, dynamic society with 1,000 members. We have more than 3,000 members of the Indian Arthroscopy Society, of which I was the president 2 years ago. And we are conducting a very regular, very strong academic program throughout the year across the country, several meetings, and now running a very popular shoulder fellowship program, which has a waiting list of almost 2 years. This is the highly successful 1,200 attendees at the Indian Arthroscopy Society annual meeting in Mumbai. And I must admit and confess and appreciate that wherever I am today, it was possible only because I had the chance, the opportunities to stand on the shoulders of giants from UK, Europe, and many more across the globe. The gentleman you see on the left is Christian Gerber. He is, you can say, the crown king of shoulder surgery across the world. And on the right is the president of American Arthroscopy Society of North America, Jeff Abrams. They are all here dancing away with Ritik in Mumbai in 2017. And it was then that I was elected as the president of the Asian Shoulder and Elbow Association, extending from Japan to Australia, all the countries covered. And that was a moment of great pride because it was my dream to put Shoulder Society of India and the shoulder work being done in India on the international map. And it did happen. But truly speaking, this is for all of us in India. The real achievement is your contribution to the subject, which means publications. So I've been striving hard to inculcate this culture in myself and in my junior colleagues who work with me. And here are some of the end result of the publications, international journals, some of the top journals such as Arthroscopy Journal from United States. Some more publications. And the last one was in the lockdown period of March 2021 published, the top journal, the first ranked journal, and the first article in that, which has created a lot of noise across the world. Now, I chose to do arthroscopy. I chose to do shoulder surgery, which is quite different from what Professor S.K. Mathur does or Dr. Bhatkande does, because they are life-saving specialties, whereas arthroscopy or shoulder surgery is a more of a quality of life, lifestyle-related field of medicine. So it is different, and each of us choose to do what we do. You also chose to be part of this webinar organized by Rajashri, the RSG webinar, and share your experience and knowledge. But I wonder how many of us realize that it is only human beings who have the ability to choose. Think carefully, the statement highlighted in yellow. Only human beings have the ability to choose. And I will ask all my learned colleagues a very simple question. To understand and appreciate this human ability to choose, why can't a tiger choose to eat grass? Today I'm fed up of eating meat, I want to eat grass. Or why can't a cow choose to eat meat today? Have you ever thought about this? We all are men and women of science. That's very hard to understand and explain. And I will make an attempt to help you understand with my little knowledge of our Hindu Vedas, to understand this human ability of choice of action. You go back to thousands of years before Christ, the Hindu scriptures, the Vedas, and they say that the living beings are broadly divided into three: plants, animals, and human beings. The plants have a body, animals have a body and a mind. Animals have a mind. If you have a pet dog, when you come home, he starts licking you all over. He's happy, he loves you, and he expresses that. So he has a mind. But it is only the human being who has the body, the mind, and the intellect. This intellect in our Vedas is termed as buddhi, and it is different from intelligence. And I will try to explain to you. The mind has faculties of love, hate, like, dislike. I like you, I don't like you, I desire this, I desire a Mercedes, then I desire a Rolls Royce, then I desire an aircraft. So the mind is constantly changing, it's wavering, and it's compared in the Vedas to the monkey. In fact, the mind is beautifully described as fire. Why fire? Because any amount of stuff you put in the fire will never be satisfied. It will consume it. So is the mind. Any amount of demand for this or that will never satisfy you. It will in fact consume you. You'll never be happy unless you develop your buddhi, which is intellect. What are the faculties of intellect? Ability to reason, to question, to rationalize, and use logic in everything that you do, in everything that you choose. I'm not saying that don't make money. I'm not saying don't buy a Mercedes. Yes, you can buy it, but reason it out, rationalize it, logisticate your wants and your needs. And for that, you need buddhi. And because of this buddhi, it is only human beings who have a choice of action. A lot of you, as Rajeshri put it earlier in her talk while introducing me, put up these so-called high-profile clients. And maybe some of them tend to call me the celebrity surgeon because I've treated all these people and perhaps many more. But I disagree. What is so high about their profile? Is it because they are powerful? And it is very sad that today powerful means the ability to harm, whereas actually powerful means the ability to do good and not the ability to harm. United States is powerful because it can harm anybody. Whereas the fact is, Mahatma Gandhi was powerful because he had the ability to do good and not to harm. And this reflects the fall in the values of life due to the fall in the human buddhi or intellect. Are they high profile because they are high net worth? Not at all. Money may be your strength, but it is not my weakness. Then who is high profile according to me? This girl here is a real high profile girl. She is from Karnataka. Let me give you a little anecdote in short. About 15, 16 years back, a blind father walks in with this girl and says, I've come from Karnataka. She is a right arm off spinner, plays for the state of Karnataka. She has a dislocating shoulder, and I have come all the way because I only want you to treat her and make sure that she is able to go back to bowling. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, this is India, 15 years ago, a blind father encouraging his girl child to continue pursuing sports such as cricket. This is a high celebrity. This is truly a celebrity for me. And this is the new India and the girl power. This lady here who I treated is an Olympic champion after delivering twins. She is high profile. This gentleman who I operated, you'll be surprised, ex-captain of the United Kingdom cricket team, Mike Brearley, to get a shoulder function to perfection is high profile to me. To me, these are high profile because a high profile should be one who challenges the ability or the limits of medical profession. And even today, it makes me nervous. The real pressure is to provide 100% result by stretching the limits of surgical ability. And that's what makes these patients high profile. And performing 100% every single day, every single time, every time you operate and enter the operation theater is not easy. You need discipline of the mind and discipline of the body. To achieve that, for my younger colleagues, I will share the Vedic knowledge that little I have. The secret to success: concentration, consistency, and collective endeavor. 3 C's. What is concentration? I'm sure all of you must have told your children that, oh, you concentrate, you're not concentrating. And if the child asks you, what is concentration, daddy or mommy? You wouldn't know, probably. Concentration, according to Vedas, is ability of the intellect or buddhi to prevent the mind from slipping into the worries of the past and anxieties of future. To be able to focus on what you're doing at that particular moment is concentration. Consistency. All efforts should be directed for the same purpose, shoulder, 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 day in and day out. And the nature helps you understand how consistency helps. Look at hydropower or wind energy. If you direct all the water flowing in one direction, you get hydropower. If you direct all the wind in one direction, you get wind energy. So nature is giving you the clues of how consistency, working single-mindedly in one direction, will give you power. And of course, collective endeavor. This is my favorite one-liner. What is teamwork? When two people make noise in rhythm, noise becomes music. When two surgeons work in rhythm, science becomes art. This is collective endeavor or teamwork. So let us all try and apply our fantastic knowledge in the Vedas, which is not there in any Harvard or Oxford or Cambridge, and try to develop our buddhi or intellect, and let us try and apply it to shoulder surgery. The world, because Ram is there and there are some orthopedic surgeons watching, the world said that in dislocating shoulder, if the bone is lost in the glenoid, soft tissue surgery will not work. And suddenly the world comes out with the same soft tissue surgery on the humeral side. Illogical. This is a little technical, so I won't deliberate too much on it. And therefore, I disagree with the international community. Here are some cases. Look at this. The world has been doing plating for fractures, complex fractures of the proximal humerus. Ram must be having even more experience. And they all fail. Majority of them fail. Look at this, failed. And look what happened with this revision into a hemi, which got infected, and she was almost going to lose her arm until I did a reverse shoulder replacement. So have to admit that there is a problem with the current methods of fixation of proximal humerus fractures. We need to innovate. This is an orthopedic registrar. He fell off a motorcycle on a Sunday morning. Dr. Joshipura called me, Sanjay, where are you? Come, our registrar has broken his shoulder. And I operated, I reduced it, I fixed it without any metal. And the great Dr. Joshipura pushed me, don't you want to put any metal? I said, no, sir, only anchors. And look at the result. We need to innovate. This man has 100% shoulder function. He's a practicing orthopedic surgeon, and this video is more than 15 years old, and he has full shoulder function. Another example, a very badly smashed proximal humerus fracture. Most people would do a plating and it's doomed to fail. He had a vessel injury as well. I called the vascular surgeons, they put a graft, and look what I did. A completely new, innovative concept. It's an intraosseous device, and look at its function. So what I'm trying to tell you is that we need to rationalize, evaluate. Here is another example of a smashed proximal humerus fracture, shoulder replacement done. And look at the result again. This man likes to play cricket and he continues to play. He met me just 2 months ago. And this is more than 15 years follow-up, playing cricket. So ladies and gentlemen, shoulder has advanced tremendously. It's one of the fastest growing specialties in the world of orthopedics across the globe. Look at the variety of shoulder replacements. It's surpassed hip and knee. You have surface replacement, you have stemless replacement, you have anatomic total shoulder replacement, you have reverse shoulder replacement when the rotator cuff is gone. Here are some examples of the most latest cutting edge surgery being done here in Mumbai as we talk. The future growth of shoulder surgery will depend on how all of us develop the culture to publish if we want to compete with the advanced nations. And of course, we need to innovate to reduce cost. I end my talk with another one-liner. I'm not an arthroscopist because I cannot see pain through the arthroscope. And all this wouldn't have been possible without the three beautiful ladies in my life, my two daughters, and Neeti, my wife, whose unending support in helping me do what I want to do. It wouldn't have been possible without three of them. Thank you once again, and thank you, Rajashri.
Thank you very much, sir. I actually am